Well, there's a lot of inappropriate content.
Okay.
And so there could be nude images.
Really? We're back this week with Arzala about social media. And the name of the business was?
Make It Happen.
Make It Happen. But today we're going to actually talk about, because she's a social guru, we're going to actually talk about raising kids in the social media era that we're in and the pros and cons and what we need to be careful of. So what is it? Your boys are 10 and 8?
That's right.
And so what is it you find is the biggest issue with social media and our children? What do we need to be the most careful about?
A lot of this stuff that goes on that, or kids will actually go in and sign up for different accounts without parents knowing.
And is there a way to stop that, or?
Well, one of the ways, like for me, I've had conversation with my kids where they always come and ask for permission.
Right.
Like my 8 years old is not on social media at all.
Okay.
And my 10 years old, I was the one that actually created, he has a YouTube channel. I created his YouTube channel for him.
Okay, cool.
Yes, and so that's what it is. I was the one that actually created for him, and I'm aware of it, so I knew it, and that's what I mean by where there are kids that the parents don't even know that kids have YouTube channels.
Right.
And when it comes to, he has already asked so many times that he wants to be on Facebook, and I've said no.
So you are concerned about your kids going onto these particular sites. What is it you think might be on those sites that we shouldn't be letting our kids see?
Well, there's a lot of inappropriate content.
Okay.
And so there could be nude images, for example, on Pinterest, that would want to follow you. And for a kid, I mean, I don't know, why would you want to have them exposed to that? And what I've noticed with YouTube is my son has a YouTube channel, and what they still do is the content that they're suggesting to him is adult content. So they're not necessarily only nude stuff, but it's just a lot of dark games and a lot of mature games that they're suggesting. It's funny how last night there was a video there, and he's just like closing his eyes and bringing the iPad. He's like, can you just, where on YouTube you can actually say that this content is irrelevant. It gives you an option to tell them why you want it to go away.
Okay, yes.
And so basically I just said it was inappropriate. But after 5 minutes, he gets another video that's similar to that. Again, these are, because he watches a lot of video game channels, but what YouTube does, it doesn't filter as in like what kind of video game channels you're watching. He's watching a lot that are like Minecraft for small kids. What they're doing is giving more mature games. They're suggesting that to him. And also there could be a lot of, like there's a lot of movie trailers that are, again, not appropriate for kids that are out there. And they just, again, a lot of this are advertising, so it just comes up.
So I guess the question is do we stop our kids altogether, and if so, to what age? Or are there avenues out there that make it so that we can block all of this?
To me, to me would be, for my kids, what have worked is communicating before even giving them. To me, what I look at it is like having social media, having these devices is not a right, it's a privilege.
True. Okay.
So we have talked about it where it can be taken away from you.
If they lose your trust.
That's right. So it's really important to set boundaries and rules as in what they can and can't do around the devices that they have.
That's an excellent point. What do you do with a child, though, who tends to be consistently rebellious? Is there, like, my concern is like I had one of those, and no matter what I said you can't do, the challenge was, okay, now she wanted to go and do it. She wanted to prove that she could do it. And back then, the internet was just coming into being, and there was a lot of ways that you could protect, but they were very awkward. Do they have programs or systems, or is there anything that we can give the audience, like a link or something that they can go get more information?
I know another business that he does mostly viruses and stuff like that for software and computer, but also he's been called at different parents have called them entrepreneur parents, where you can block certain, like for example, you can block YouTube on certain devices, or you can block...
So let's put his link down below as well.
Sure.
So if parents are interested in actually getting a resource that will help them so their kids aren't getting exposed to things.
That's right.
In case they have a rebellious one. I love your whole concept, though, where it is a privilege.
Yes.
And our kids need to understand that just because everybody else has a cell phone in their hand doesn't mean that they have a right to it. They have to earn it.
That's right.
So that's an excellent point. So, and I think as parents we need to remember that. right?
We do, yes, we do.
Because it's so easy just to give in to our kids rather than think of the long-term consequences.
And I think if you start at an early age where you've set the boundaries, it just makes it a lot of easier not to have a rebellion kid down the road.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but that didn't work.
No.
We had 4, raised them all the same. 2 of them understood their boundaries,
Yeah.
and 2 pushed every boundary we gave them. So I know that there's going to be some parents out there that are going to be
That's
going,
right.
okay, so what you're saying makes sense. I tried it, but it didn't work. So let's give them that option of this other guy's link so that if they do need a resource that helps them do this. Because ultimately it's more important to protect our children than whether or not we could actually do that whole trust thing. If for some reason our kids are not trustworthy, we can't seem to get that accomplished for whatever reason, then it would be nice to give the audience
That's right.
a resource.
What worked for me is I have my kids' passwords to their iPads and their devices. So I am always going in there and seeing
Right.
what they're doing.
Right. And in our house, what I did is I told my kids, I trust you until you give me a reason not to. And the minute you give me a reason not to, now you have to earn it back.
That's right.
And you know, on the whole, that kind of worked. But like I said, I did have one that kind of
It does. Like I said, my older one, he's been so good, but he's so different than my younger one. With my 8-year-old, where you just tell him something and he's fine. He's telling me the other day, I don't want all these devices. I just want to read books. That's my 8-year-old.
Isn't that refreshing in this generation? I don't know how you did that, but you did
it's just
something
like
right.
I said, his older brother's not like him at all. He's,
Right.
Yes, so
He's so much into the computer and yeah. So your son is a gamer. Would you like us to put his link down below so that he can get some subscribers
sure.
of other gamers as well? So we will do that. And that is what we call networking. And we talked about that in last week's
That's
segment.
right.
So we're going to do that for your son.
Thank you.
So hopefully there's a few links down below that are actually going to help you hopefully keep your kids safe in the social media. And next we're actually going to be talking about cyberbullying, and it is a huge topic. So please come back next week because it is important. As always, we want to wish you an awesome day.